What's up, everyone? My name is Tyler. You're watching Mom's Basement MMA, and I have a special guest with me today. He's an undefeated middleweight contender. You may have recognized him from Dana White Contender Series. The undefeated Torrez Finney joins me on the program today. Torrez, welcome back. I see we're not bleeding from our mouth today, so it's got to be a good day.
You're right, man. They probably will be in a few hours. Got sparring coming up, but hey, man. But overall, it's been awesome. Yes, and I'm happy to be back. You know, I've done an interview with you before, and also like people don't know, like I remember definitely talking with Tyler early on. Tyler followed me. I never forget that post he made. He was like, I followed this guy when he was an amateur, and he was talking about like he was looking at me a little bit as an amateur. He was like, I don't follow many amateurs, but something about this one and I got on the show with you after I fought an icon, and it was just awesome to be able to, and we just built up a good little relationship throughout back and forth on social media. So it's been really cool. And I've always tuned into your stuff. I watch interviews of other guys. Obviously, a good friend of ours, Solomon Renfro. So yeah, I'm definitely always excited to be on the show.
Yes, sir. Well, we got a tough opponent coming up ahead of us, Abdellah Er-Ramy. You'll be taking him on October 1st. But before we get into all that, let's just snipe right into it, man. I'm gonna throw some tough questions at you, and the first one is Dana White. We all heard what he said about you in that last performance. You beat Rowston, and basically he like alluded to the fact that, in his opinion, he basically said, "I don't know if you have what it takes to be successful in the UFC." And you go out there, you beat a high level guy like Rowston in the manner in which you did. I thought you dominated that fight, by the way. Like, how do you mentally process all of that, especially after you've already won twice here?
Well, so like I will say, so the first time, after winning the first time when he was like, I'll be doing you a disservice to bring you in, it caught me a little bit off guard because I'm like, man, I saw a stat that said 90% of guys that get finishes get a contract. Like I remember one time when Chris Curtis did a spinning back kick, knocked the guy out and didn't get a contract. So like I'm sitting there thinking, man, I got a rear naked choke on an undefeated fighter. He talks about how he loves seeing fighters come back from adversity on the show. I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna get a contract at this first one. Didn't get it. It did catch me by surprise. The second one, it I knew already based a little bit off my performance, it was 50-50. And after going in the back talking with my management team, I was talking with Malcolm on the phone. I already knew I wasn't gonna get it. I went out there, I was like, I'm just waiting on hear what Dana has to say, because I didn't know what he was gonna come up there with. Then, he stated like, oh, you'll get decimated based off your performance today and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. And I'm not worried because how many people can sit there and man, I'm sad. I'm 9-0 as a professional MMA fighter. That's a hard thing to get to, especially along the path that I went through. Like I fought some tough competition along the way. It's hard to get to 9-0. And it's hard to have an opportunity to get to 10-0. Like I understand how difficult it is to win MMA fights. So I am happy about the fact that I got to win. And being in sports all my life, it's not easy to get the victory against another person that's just as competitive as you are, especially when they prepare the same way. Me and Cam has prepared for each other for over 12 weeks. Yes, that's a long time to be studying one guy and the other. And styles contrast. I wasn't mad. I mean, I went out there and executed. I beat a guy that was really good from a really good gym that has a lot of great qualities about him. Heck, they had it on the video. Dan Hooker, he's one of the best all-around guys we got in the gym. Izzy, big on him. Izzy talked about him in his press conference after the fight with Fadrikas. So like Cam had some great qualities about him. But to sit there and listen to obviously to like what Dana said, I tell people stuff like that don't get at me because when he said it the first time after I fought Yuri, I said I was a little sad about 5 minutes, and I said, you know what, I won the fight. And that was a great fight I had against Yuri. So I said, I ain't worried about that. And I've had taken more criticism from my dad, my granddad, my uncle, like the men in my family in competitive sports. So when I hear somebody, say something, I'm like, that don't even make the top 10. Heck, from like college football recruiters and hearing what they got to say, that, I heard way worse. Like him saying that because that's more opinionated rather than, oh, you're just not good enough. We don't think you're going to, again, even that's opinionated. But like, when you're trying to get into something you really, 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 really have that heart for, and you don't get into it, it just okay. You just make me work hard. I turn into bulletin board material, but it doesn't affect me. I'm a guy that just okay, whatever happens, all right, we're on to the next.
Well, you'll be competing on Dana White Contender Series for the third time, and dare I say, you might be the first guy in the history of the promotion that's fought for Dana White Contender Series on 3 different occasions. And there are a lot of fighters I feel like in your position. They've won twice on that promotion. They got the criticism that they got from Dana, and they'd be like, "Man, to hell with this. I'll take my talents elsewhere. I'll do something different." Obviously, you're pressing forward. They gave you this opportunity to compete on October 1st. What compelled you, Torrez, to say yes? Why? What's making you go into the fire for yet a third time in pursuit of this contract?
Well, because of the challenge. It's not me no longer looking for the UFC contract as a reward. Now I look for it as a challenge because now you stated that I will get decimated. Okay. Then you state I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. Okay. Well, if I continue to beat every single person that you put in front of me, it looks at it in another different way. Is the matchmakers matching the guys on the contender series? Well, like, are these guys not good enough? Because I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to the guys I fought. You're saying Yuri would get decimated. You're saying Cam Rowston, he would get decimated. You're saying all these other guys that I'm, Abdellah, all these guys that I'm fighting wouldn't even stand a chance. Like that's what you're saying, in my opinion. So I think now it gets to the point like I just continue to keep winning and I continue to strive forward. Yes, another opportunity definitely was arisen for me, and I thought I was about to take that opportunity. But again, I got that call, and what helped me go a little bit more help me go back to Dana White Contender Series was the fact that one opportunity to go 3-0 on the show, never been done before. People have won twice, but nobody has ever won 3 times. So I was like, okay, I like that chance. I like that chance at history. Then it's an opportunity for you say I couldn't do something. And I love when people doubt me. So, all right, if you say I can't do something, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, all right, then I'm going to show you the reason why I can't do it. And this is nothing but motivation for me. And as I said, I no longer look at a UFC contract as a reward. It's a challenge for me now. It's a challenge for whenever I get it. Yeah, congratulations, you got it. But no, it's going to be more like, okay, you said I wouldn't be good enough to be in this promotion. Well, let me prove to you why I know I'm good enough. And now it's a whole different thing. I know a lot of people, after the fight, be, oh, congratulations, man, you got the contract and stuff. But no, I'm not looking at it that way now. Not anymore. After the first one, I was. The second one, maybe, but the third one, no. No, we're looking at it for now as a challenge.
Fighters face criticism all the time. It's part of the job description, and you guys get criticized. Some of it's fair. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to say some of it's fair, but most of it is not. And everyone's an expert. I'm sure you got all kinds of nasty, mean DMs from people that, like, what you've experienced to a lot of fighters is like their worst nightmare. Like, I can't believe I could not handle being on TV and Dana White saying all those things about me. Like, that would just like tear me apart. Like, how do you filter all that noise out, and what advice would you have to other fighters that face intense criticism, whether it's fair or unfair?
Well, my advice to him is be mindful of what you hold to standard. Don't let other people speak over your life and hold it very highly. I'm a big fan of football. Obviously, I love what Nick Saban talks about the rat poison. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's poison. Because when people obviously give you too much highly recognition and great props on your back, you feed into it. Like, oh man, I like that, and then you become a shell of yourself. You don't train as hard. You think too much. You're thinking too highly of yourself. You're not working as hard. Then you listen to the guys that, oh, he sucks, you're awful, blah blah blah, you're bad, blah blah blah. All right, and then you listen to those guys, and then you start taking away from who you really are. Saying maybe I am, maybe I. No, we followed all that out. Like, I can see it, I can read it, I can hear it. It don't mean nothing to me because I'm gonna always still do me because I don't hold those type of people that speak of my life to a standard. Like, if you were my granddad, my dad, my uncle, people of my life, my mom, my grandma, my parents, family, my coaches, you said something like that, that's a lot different. Okay, because I respect that. I hold your opinion to a standard. But if I don't hold that opinion to a standard, then it's not going to affect me like that. And now I'm not saying I don't respect Dana White, because obviously I do respect everything he's done for the sport. Heck, he's going to be my future boss. So yeah, I definitely respect him. But what he said, I didn't hold that to a standard for me. That's why it don't affect me. Because it's like, I mean, okay, you can say that, but like, I know personally, because I've trained with elite UFC fighters. you can ask them. You know, it's like I've seen myself go with some of the best guys in the world, and I know what I can do. So I don't hold. It's different if I didn't know. It's different if I didn't see myself execute these type of things. But because I don't hold that to the standard. The standard I hold myself to is, for one, for myself, and two, is like the people around me. And inside my circle, that's the only voices that really matters to me the most. So if the voices inside of me is like, okay, you're sorry here, because I've been told I suck in these certain positions that I need to work on. So I go and get better at those certain positions because I've been told by the people in my circle, you need to do this, this, and this better. I respect that opinion. All right. Now, I also respect, obviously, what Dana White said, especially like last year. You need to get more experience. Well, I literally did. You know, it's like I literally tried to go get more experience. You know, obviously circumstances, but I did. And what people don't understand is like I was offered this last Contender Series fight before the viral knockout in May. There was literally talks between some people in my team that I didn't need to take that fight. Let's just focus on Contender Series, not worry about getting hurt, not worry about having a bad performance or a potential loss. Just don't even worry about it. Don't even put the risk on. And I said, no, I don't want the first time I step back into the Contender Series cage, back in the Apex, to be nearly a whole year off. So that's the thing with me is that I want to compete. I want to stay active. I want to gain experience because I wanted more experience as an amateur and I couldn't find fights. So I was, going to turn pro. Still not, still hard to find it. So I'm basically like a regional promotion on the Dana White Contender Series. So I'm taking advantage of these type of opportunities, but it's about how you hold what other people talk about you to a certain standard. And yes, the people in my circle is the only ones that voices really matter. And I always trusted myself. I believe in a lot of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I'm always going to follow him and whatever he puts into my heart and whatever my family and my people around my circle and my coaches and my team, what we believe in, we're going to stick with that. They're the only ones that matter to me, voices wise.
On Dana White Contender Series, like I often feel like the line is straddled, right? I feel like a lot of guys get on that program after I watch them fight on Cage Warriors or Eternal MMA or LFA or whatever, right? I watch them fight on Contender, and sometimes I feel like these guys like fight to entertain. Like they're not disciplined, they're going wild, they're doing all kinds of things out of character to get that finish. And I've seen really good talent end up losing their fights on Contender, fighting out of character. And I feel like there's like a balance, right? Like, yes, you're going out there to win, but there's also that pressure to entertain. There's that pressure to get that knockout, to get that submission. How do you like manage all of that? You've walked this line twice already. How do you not let that pressure to entertain and fight out of character? How do you keep that at bay and just focus on yourself?
Because for me, the thing that would eat at me the most, because I've had this happen in other sports. I've done this in wrestling. I've tried things that I know for a fact I would have never tried. And I attempted in a match. Now, granted, they say you talk about doing this in training, but because we only get so many opportunities in MMA, you fight between 2 to 3 times a year. So you don't get that many opportunities to sometimes try things. So you need to make sure it's honed and really good in training. In wrestling, you get obviously a lot more opportunities. Tried something, didn't work, got put on my back, and I got pinned. I'll never forget that. My junior year, I went 40-4 in my junior year. I still won a state title that year, but I lost to a guy that I went on and beat my senior year 6-7 times. Well, I think 6 times in a row, and I pinned him 5 out of those times. The guy was never on my level, but I did the dumbest move that I never done. I tried it because we were doing it in practice. So I'm gonna try it on this guy. Didn't work. I put on my back, got caught. All right, boom. Things like that eat at me because this guy beat me, and he's gonna always forever say he beat the 2-time state champion. My senior year, I went undefeated 40-0. He always gonna say that he beat me, especially now as a fighter. Oh, I pinned that guy. I pinned that guy in the first period. Yeah, he's gonna always have that over me because I didn't go out there and wrestle the way I actually would have. Because when I went out there and wrestled the way I actually would have, I ran through him every time. And that's the same way I feel about fighting. It's like if I go out here and go out of my element on what I would actually do, dude, it pisses me off because I'll be mad that I didn't do what I know I could have done. It's like, if you beat me at my best, congratulations, I shake your hand, you're the better man. But if you beat me at me trying to do something that I know that I didn't prepare to do or wasn't supposed to do or what I don't usually do, then that's going to eat at me because I'm going to be like, well, you didn't beat me at my best. And I don't want to create that as an excuse, but you create that in your own mind because you know we all fighters, we're all human. We already know what we're going to go in there and do sometimes, but sometimes because of the circumstances, obviously like the Dana White Contender Series, certain guys go out there and they're like, well, man, I'm going to try this. We got to make sure we get that contract, and you go out there and you fight out of your element. Be comfortable in who you are. If you're good enough, we'll go out there. We're going to try to go out there and execute. We're going to do certain things, and we're going to make sure while we're doing that, we advance, we push for certain things, but we're confident. Be confident in yourself. Don't. And I think that's just like obviously the beauty of the show is like it makes certain fighters fight out of that element, and we're like, okay, we're going to really see who can deal with the pressure. But I feel like that's the pressure within itself. If you're fighting out of the element, you've already put yourself at a disadvantage. So go out there and just do you. That's all, and that's one of the things that we're big about. Go out there and just do me. And I always say this: if I go out there and be the best me I can, I don't think anybody on the planet can beat me. So I'm going to always go out there and just do me because that's how I actually feel. If I go out there and do me, it's going to be hard for anybody on the planet to beat me.
We have a relatively quick turnaround, the Rowston fight from August. Now you'll be competing a few weeks later, this time against Abdellah Er-Ramy. He's a tough kid from Spain, 7-1 record, a young stud just like you. What's your take on this guy? Like, he's been out of the game for a while. He hasn't competed in roughly a year. Is that like an advantage over him, in your opinion, just the frequency, the cage time that you have over your opponent? And what's kind of like your take on your opponent when you size him up?
Yeah, so Abdellah is a really good opponent, man. Obviously he has 7 wins. I think 5 of them by knockout. He has the other 2 by decision. So he's a guy that he's had over 75 kickboxing bouts. He's coming there with throwing with a lot of power, throws hard, very Muay Thai base as well. So it's like he's like a Tyson-esque, just lots of hooks. So he's good at what he does, and I really respect him. I think he's a really good fighter. I just also, with him having fighting since last year in the PFL, he fought in the PFL tournament last year. I know he has some ongoing things where he was supposed to fight, but he had obviously the eye stuff. So it negated him from fighting Simeon Powell, who's actually about to fight this weekend, I believe. So it negated him from fighting in some, for Bellator and for PFL. So, now he's been blessed with this opportunity to, be able to go on a contender series. So I really do respect him. And yeah, but I just think what I bring to the table is going to be really hard for him to handle. I just feel like, one, obviously, along with the experience being on a contender series, along with stepping in, and I'm sure, when you've done that many kickboxing bouts, I don't think nerves necessarily always come into play, but things do come into play when sometimes the stakes are a little bit higher. And everybody gets nerves. Nobody is foolish. Everybody gets nerves. It's like I've wrestled hundreds of wrestling matches. I still get some of those same nerves when I'm stepping into the cage. It doesn't matter who I'm going against because it is, it's the same going on process. And I think it definitely can affect because this is going to be, I know he fought in the PFL, which is obviously was good. He fought in one of those tournaments over there in Europe, but with a contender series, a little bit different. You understanding the stakes, it's a lot different. So I think some of that might play a factor. But yes, me being active, because like I said, I just fought Cam Rowston a few weeks ago. I took a week off, which was actually really good for my body. Jumped right back in the camp because I got the call on the following Wednesday. So exactly a week. So the moment I got the call, boom, jumped straight into training that Wednesday. And I don't feel nothing painful. I'm feeling good. Like I said, and I always told people, I wish MMA would be a little bit more closer to like an actual regular season type of thing. But I understand why not, because of cutting weight with people. Again, we didn't have the weight cutting barrier right there. People would fight more often. But since we do, hard for us to stay as active. And I actually enjoy this, getting boom, put my next opponent behind me, just like in a regular season of a football, just like season for wrestling, put my last opponent behind me. All right, we're on to the next. And we just keep it churning. So I do enjoy that. And I do enjoy that it doesn't give me that much time to really think of. I've obviously done research, film, watched them, study him. We got a game plan, but it doesn't give you that much time to think over 12 to 8 weeks about your opponent. Because when you're sitting there, you're thinking, man, I'm just thinking, because for 12 weeks, I thought about Cam Rowston. The moment I got the opponent, I thought nothing about him for 12 weeks. So now, literally, for 4.5 weeks, all I'm thinking about is Abdellah Er-Ramy. Not much time to really put that much nerve on yourself. You're just like, okay, I just focus on myself and I just go. So in a way, it's a little bit of a short notice, but not really. And yeah, I've been in training camp all year long. I mean, I did a training camp for the Ultimate Fighter, which I didn't get on. Then literally right after the day I left, we found a fight about 4 or 5 days later. Started that training camp for the May fight. I already knew I was fighting on Contender Series. Took a week off, jumped right back in the training camp for Cam Rowston. So I've been in training camp all year. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new.
Well, Torrez, I'm really looking forward to watching you compete here in a few weeks. I don't want to really ask you too many questions about the matchup. I just want to watch this fight here for myself, like the rest of the country. But I will ask you this. Third time, right? Your third time getting a crack at this. And I want you to explain to Dana, to Hunter, to anyone else out there who's watching this, people all over the world, by adding you onto the UFC roster, what type of fighter is the UFC getting, and what can fans expect when they watch you perform in the UFC octagon?
A guy that's relentless, a guy that will never give up, a guy that will always find ways to win. Yes, you talk about you want the best fighters. I feel like I'm one of the best fighters. You know, in the aspect of fighting, always find a way to go out there and get the job done. And no matter who it is, you know, with me and my team, we'll do everything we can to find a way that we get that W. And I just feel like when you got a guy that's relentless and don't give up and don't quit, and I'm going to continue to keep getting better. I told people I've been in this game for 4 years. Give me another 4 years. Let's see where I'm at. You know, it's like, and even then, I still won't even hit 30 yet in 4 years. So it's like, just give me more time and we'll continue to see where I will be. And I just know I'm growing more and more by the day as a fighter. And I just need to take that time. But like so much of this time has been so much in just fight camp. So I haven't had that necessarily that time to just take time off. Let's focus on training. And I think the type of fighter you're going to get a guy that's relentless, a guy that will never give up, a guy that's going to come out strong, powerful, explosive, athletic. And, to be able to see a guy like this that just going to keep churning on, man, I feel like it's going to be something exciting for the fans. I mean, I've had a lot of people say they enjoy when they call it Er-Ramy, when I pick guys up and lift them over my head. It's funny because I didn't even the one that came up with Er-Ramy. One of the guys I fought came up with that when I was an amateur. So, when I pick guys up and slam them on the head, especially guys that are like these other grown human beings that's obviously after we weigh in, they're over 200 pounds, I'm picking them up over my head, I'm slamming them, I'm controlling them, I'm ragdolling them. Like, that's a style that a lot of people don't see. And I feel like I bring in a way that little Habib style from the American way, like I like him. I like like Shemaev or DC. Like I feel like I get those type of comparisons and I enjoy that, because I respect those guys a lot. And those are the legends I watch a lot of. And when I first started watching MMA, those are the guys I really tuned in and said, man, I think I can do that. Man, I think I got the skill set to be able to pull those type of things off. And I've been blessed with it. So I'm really happy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you tune in October 1st, ESPN Plus. You'll be able to watch Mr. Finney compete for his chance at a UFC contract. Torrez, I actually want to give you the mic. If there's any sponsors you need to talk about or any people out there that you would like to thank before I let you go, let's do it, my man.
Yes, first I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for allowing me and giving the blessings, for allowing me to be able to do what I do in the cage every single day, keeping me healthy and keeping me churning. Also want to thank my coaches, my team, Matt Harris, Sterling Peace, Larry Scott, my sponsors from the Gogi at the Gym, Johnny Jones to Wham Bam to Robert White to Brad. There's a lot of people that have been a part of me in my life that helps me. First Round Management, they're awesome. My boy Ray Horner, he's incredible, man. He's had me since I was an amateur, a 2-fight Emmy. He's been with me, man, and I love him. He's one of the best agents that there is out there. Malky and Abe, all those guys at First Round. Also my family, my mom, my dad, uncle, granddad, grandma, my other grandmother, Grandma Rena, all the people in my family. And I don't want to go out and call them because they watch this. Like, you can call my name. So everybody in the family. But I love everybody, Uncle Smith, everybody. So yeah, man, it's been awesome, and it's been a great journey. This entire year has been incredible. It's been wild, it's been fast, but it's something, man. This is definitely a story that I really believe that I'll have the opportunity to go out there and tell not only young fighters but young people. It's like you can overcome adversity. Don't let a bunch of no's stop your one yes. And I'm going to keep turning that on. I'm going to keep fighting. And as I always say, man, I'm not out there to prove people wrong. I'm out there to prove myself right. And I know where I belong and I know how good I am. So we're going to keep that going. October 1st, I'm getting that third W. Let's go.
And you should never turn off the YouTube video during the thank you. So if you stuck around, I'm going to reward you with a bonus question. So Torrez, we got a big fight coming up, UFC 306. Sean O'Malley be going up against Merab Valashvili. Who do you got and why?
Now, as much as the grappler I have to go with Sean. The reason why, it is hard for me to sit there and watch that fight. For 25 minutes, you telling me that he's not going to touch that chin at least one time. I think Merab is a little chinny. He has been able to recover against those guys, but because of the length of Sean, I think while he's trying to recover, he'll be able to stave off those takedowns long enough and good enough to stop Merab from obviously accessing those takedowns. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I really do think Sean gets it done in round 2, maybe round 3. Now, if we get past round 3, better go ahead and start putting those live bets in on Merab, because that means he don't figure it out, Sean. He's gotten a rate, and he's about to start turning that pace up. And that if it's round 3, round 4, expect to see a guy on his back or being shot on over and over and over and over and over again, because I don't see how Sean stops that from rounds 3 to 5. He can stop around 1 and 2, but 3 to 5, I don't see how he stops it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's the prediction from the man himself, Torrez. I wish you the best of skill on October 1st. I look forward to having you back on the program really soon, sir.
Thank you very much. Always happy to be with you, Tyler.